Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So, recently I've been getting asked, how do I build so good? How long did it take you to build like this? And I'm going to answer all those questions, not really answer them, but I'm going to give you helpful tips on how you can improve your building, because it's actually not that hard. So, I'm just going to jump into the list. I made a little list over here of just the 10, or how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 basic things that I follow for when I build, and I figured I'm just going to share that with you. Also, thank you all for the support on the recent couple of videos. It means a lot to me. And anyway, let's get into this list. So first off, color choice. I see in so many builds just really awful color choice, and I swear it's like people will pair alright, so let me think of a color. So like if we go to the concrete section, somebody would do maybe like light blue and I don't know, like pink, and then they build a house out of this stuff. Like, they don't go together all that well. Alright, I'm just gonna say that they don't go together. I mean, that it's all personal preference what goes together well. But usually what I like to do is I like to stick around with like lights go with really dark colors. Like you see over here, I've got like the oranges that go with whites, but it also goes with a black and a like green. So that's kind of the practice that I stick to, and it seems to be working for me. So that's just my advice for that. Second off, it's location. I can't. There are so many builds that I've seen in just the wrong locations. And you can tell when a build is in the wrong location just from, you know, how it's looking in that area. So this is easy to fix. If you see something in the wrong location, don't build it. So you're not going to build a wooden style cabin inside of a desert. It just doesn't work like that. It just won't look too good. It'll look out of place. And one thing about building is that it has to have a place in the world. So like these are modern buildings. These are part of a tech district in my single player world. So they have a place here. But if I were to put just a little log cabin somewhere, it could look really good, but it would be so out of place that you wouldn't really pay much attention to it. So that's why I don't build little log cabins in the middle of deserts. Now, granted, there are some ways that you can make it look like it fits more into the desert. Like if you were to add, say, some pieces of sand to it, or just make the full thing out of sand even, and just add little bits of wood in it. That would make it look like it actually belongs there, because it looks more like decayed and all that, and it actually looks like it fits into the area. Number 3 that I have is terrain forming. Can you imagine if I built this all in just a mountain over here, just right through the building? It wouldn't look too good. It would look, again, out of place. So terrain forming is another big one that I can't stress enough. Like I said multiple times before, I built this entire terrain area over here. All this was just done in World Edit. But even if you're doing this in survival, just spend a little bit of time and actually go over and fix it up a little bit. It doesn't take too long. You'll get it done fairly quickly, unless you're doing a really large scale project. But usually it's just either removing a couple blocks so that it actually fits. Like, I wouldn't build like a huge tower structure in the middle of a mountain, because that's one, too much work for me. I mean, and I work on mega builds, but I still don't want to spend the tedious time when I could have way better placement of a building. So that's another safe bet, is just don't build where it wouldn't like match up. So like actually choose your terrain wisely. Another thing that I find is foliage. Like, do you see how much better everything looks now that it's got like little spots of greenery everywhere? I swear, like, look at this. It looks so much better over here than if it were to just be barren land. Because you have the green over here, you've got it over here, you've got it on top of the roofs. It just keeps everything from looking plain. You can fill empty space in with it. It's pretty simple to do also. I mean, I just literally placed bamboo shoots all around here. And custom trees aren't really that hard. It's just making one long stump and then breaking these off into little bits and then adding leaves over the bits so that the log doesn't stick out unless it's under. It's not hard to build trees, and maybe I'll even do a tutorial on how I build trees. But once you get the hang of it, you never look back. Once you get the hang of building trees, it's stapled into your mind. So that's another one that I can't stress enough, is just add foliage because it looks so good. Next on my list is use your style. If you're comfortable with one style, then use that style if you're confident with it. Now, this ties into the next one, which is try new things, because you don't want to stick to that one style because you're going to get bored of it. So just try new things with it. Whether it be like, oh, I'm usually used to building rustic houses. Alright, I'm just going to step a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm going to build a modern one for once. And there you go. Like, I'm comfortable with building, what are they? Just houses like, not like that, but those houses over here. Those are even new, and I'm comfortable building those. And I moved over to modern, and I mean, I can do modern. I prefer the other one, but modern does kind of look nice on different occasions, so, and it's one of the really popular styles, so I figured that it matches what I'm doing in here, especially since this is a tech district, so it really matches. Next one is look for real life examples. So literally just go on Google Maps and kind of look for something that looks kind of interesting. And I mean, you could do this on any site also. Like, I look at Instagram buildings, like architecture, because that helps me get some ideas for building and keeps my ideas fresh. Instead of, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna not do anything. No, just keep your ideas fresh. So go on like Google Maps or something, get a couple ideas for what you want to build, get a general idea of what you're working with, and it'll just make your life a whole lot easier. And I can guarantee that, because I used to just go and work on something, and I wouldn't know what I was doing until maybe like a little bit in, and then after that I'd have to start over anyway. So just save yourself the time and maybe get a little bit of inspiration before you build, so that you aren't doing what I usually do, or what I used to do, where I would have it being kind of done, and then it just wouldn't look good, because it would just fall apart right afterward, or it just didn't do very well. And this also goes in with what I had to say with that, and it's just look for other people and get inspired off of that, because I mean, seriously, like, other people are really good builders. I'd still consider myself somewhat basic at building, honestly. Like, I'm not super good. I can build, but I'm not, like, incredibly talented to the point where I could have my own building channel. Nah, I just build. So, look at other people's ideas for inspiration. Try out what they have. Don't use tutorials, because you don't learn anything from them. And that's just what I think. I don't think you learn anything from tutorials, so don't use tutorials. I mean, unless you're doing some like interior decorating, which I can't do interior decorating, but even then I still look for inspiration. But just exterior just kind of removes your creativity. So that's that. And finally, don't give up too quickly on what you're building, because how are you going to get better if you just gave up on it? Exactly, you're not. So don't give up on a building just because it doesn't look the way you like it. You know what I do when that happens to me? I tear it down and I restart, because I'm not giving up on that building type just because it's so a little bit hard. No, I just look for a different picture or something and recreate it. Or not recreate it, but just get a little bit more inspiration from it, instead of having something that's too overly challenging for myself. So yeah, don't give up on a build just because it looks a little bit harder than where you're used to. And same goes for, also just look at angles for buildings, because if you're trying to like copy a building or like recreate a building, look for the angles of the buildings. Seriously, because when I look at some of the buildings on Google Earth, they're slanted like this, and I can't really get a good idea of what I'm looking for. Or even just like buildings on like Reddit, if I find them off the Minecraft subreddit and I'm like, oh, you know, this is kind of cool, I can get some inspiration from this, but the angles are just really weird and I can't really get that much of an inspiration off of it because I don't know how things are placed. So yeah, just take note of those things. Those are just my basic tips that I follow all the time. And hopefully you'll be a successful builder. And I actually might take down this building because modern, not too good at modern, I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all learned something, enjoyed it, I don't know. If you have any suggestions for videos, leave them down in the description below. I'll be having a new Minecraft series up later, and I actually might start continuing my Danny Plays Minecraft series just a little bit because 1.16 was released. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in the next episode or video, whatever. Goodbye, everyone.